Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. May we greet each of you this evening. In the greeting words of peace, we said in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, it's customary that we open up all of our meetings and gatherings in prayer. Would you stand, please? Bow your head. Prayer. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, surely I am being turned to thee, O Allah, striving to be upright, to he who originated the heavens and the earth, and I'm not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life and my death are all for thee, Allah, the Lord of the world. No associates has he, and of this I am commanded. I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King. There is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself and do confess my faults. Please grant me protection against all my faults. For none grants protection against faults but thee, and guide me into the best of morals. For none guides into the best of morals but thee. Turn away from me evil and indecent morals. None turns away evil and indecent morals but thee. O Allah, make Muhammad successful. Make the true followers of Muhammad successful, as thou did make Abraham, and the true followers of Abraham successful. Surely thou art praised and magnified. O Allah, bless Muhammad. Bless the true followers of Muhammad, as thou did bless Abraham, and the true followers of Abraham. Surely thou art praised and magnified. Amen. And now be seated. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, give him praise and honor, who is coming to us as he promised in the person of the Master of Parenthood, Muhammad. We are forever thankful to him for raising one from amongst us, his messenger, his Messiah. Now the world is starting to realize who he really is. He is known to us as the risen and exalted Christ. The same Christ that we read about and talk about in the Scriptures. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad is that one. We are forever thankful for those two men leaving in our midst a beautiful human being. One who does not compromise truth. One who does not sell out his people for paper and things that have no meaning or worth. One who stands on truth and will fight our enemy to its death for our salvation. So we're thankful to Allah for this one in our midst, the Honorable Minister Parenthood, the greatest black man that I've ever met. Let me bring forth my brother, my friend, my comrade in this work, which is a great work, student minister. In this ministry class, student minister, Hazi Al-Amin. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. All praise is due to Allah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. In the name of Allah the Beneficent, I do bear witness that there is no God other than Allah, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad. Now further bear witness and thank Allah for leaving and raising up among us a Georgia-born man, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and our leader and teacher today, the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In their name, I greet you with greeting words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, it is our time. It is a beautiful time to be Muslim. It's a beautiful time to be a black man or a black woman in the hells of North America. I want to welcome all of the visitors too. Let's give our visitors a round of applause. Thank you for being here. Brothers and sisters, we're living in a time of judgment. And if you don't believe it, just look around you and you will notice that when something is done, the repercussions of it come very quickly. We are living in a time of judgment, and when we do wrong or when we do right,
the consequences come immediately. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the hiding of the truth is a very serious thing to do. Says it causes harm and disappointment. It causes one to be misled. It causes loss of property and life. It causes loss of friendship, but loved ones, and loss of confidence and trust. We have been lied to and tricked, and the truth has been hidden from us for a very, very long time. But the beauty of it is we have someone in our midst today, in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that is teaching us the truth. We have a representative of him here today, Student Minister Tony Muhammad, that is truly going to bring us some truth. And brothers and sisters, I'm here to let you know that you're in for a treat. I just wanted to come before you for just a couple minutes, and I'm honored and thank Student Minister Tracy for allowing me this time. And next, I believe that we're going to have Student Minister Ernest coming up. But let's welcome Brother Mike back to the rostrum with a loud round of applause. Thank you. Another fireball out of North. Brother Hoover, I grew up in this mosque with years ago. I won't say how old we are. But I want to bring forth my brother, another fireball from Norfolk, Student Minister Ernest Muhammad. Bring him over.
In the name of Allah, I bear witness that there is but one God, whom we say came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. He raised up one as a standard bearer of his wisdom to teach to us, the black man and woman of North America, and the teaching has gone out throughout the world. That one is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I didn't meet the honorable Elijah Muhammad, nor did I meet Master Fard Muhammad. But I did meet both of them in the person of the man that's on scene today, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'd like to greet my beloved brothers and sisters in the greeting words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum. Man, it's good to be home. I just lived down the road. The believers down in Norfolk, in the 7 cities, are some of the most beautiful believers that I've met in the Nation of Islam. And I've been around for 32 years as a registered Muslim. So I thank them. But Richmond, our district head, all praises be to Allah. Beautiful center of Islam in the state of Virginia. I want to just bear witness to the brother that you're about to hear from. See, he comes from the loins, the spiritual loins of the baddest black man on the planet. See, this knowledge about vaccines came from a white person to some of our great leaders that you call great. Preachers, politicians, even some entertainers. But they were not strong enough to take this knowledge to our people. The pharmaceutical industry, they make every black man bow. You think Sharpton is bad? But Sharpton bow. You think Jesse is bad? But Jesse bow. You think Congressman Lewis, you know how he railed against Donald Trump? He bowed. But Farrakhan, but the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the good shepherd, stood up for us and our children. And then he turned around to Minister Tony and said, would you help me? I think it was probably, how fast is the speed of thought? 24 billion miles per second? Well, that's how fast it took for Minister Tony to decide to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to get the word out to our people that they are trying to kill us. We want to bring on the local representative of this house and really the whole state, my mentor and my head. We want you to bring them on with a strong Richmond round of applause. Right here, our Minister Tracy, Muhammad. Please bring them on with a strong round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we give Him praise and thanks for His coming to us in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad. We thank Him for His messenger, Messiah, the most honorable and humble Elijah Muhammad. And we give both of them praise and thanks for our beloved brother, our leader, teacher, and guide, the one who sits in the seat of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad as a father over the house. By the honorable Elijah Muhammad's permission, I speak of none other than the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I greet you all, my beloved brothers and sisters, the greeting words of peace and of paradise. We say it in our original tongue in Arabic. Assalamu alaikum. How y'all doing this morning? I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I'm very excited, very happy and humbled by your presence this morning, and a little nervous because the brother that you're going to hear from in just a couple of moments, and I know you're ready to hear from him.
Yes, sir.
I know you're sitting there saying, I wish he'd hurry up so we can hear from Minister Tony. Minister Tony is not just the vax guy, the vaccine guy. Just the 40, 50 cities throughout America talking about vaccines. This brother's work is legendary in the Nation of Islam and throughout Black America. Believe me. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, when the Honorable Louis Farrakhan decided that he wanted the gang members to meet, Bloods on one side, Crips on the other side, it was Minister Tony Muhammad who went among the gang members and said, brothers, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan needs to see y'all. Wasn't no request, it was an instruction. And a few weeks after that, the Bloods, the Crips, Snoop, all the gang members were there to hear the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. But it was Minister Tony Muhammad that did that. A couple of years ago, Minister Tony Muhammad organized over 50,000 black bikers. Y'all didn't hear me. Black bikers to call a truce, because you know the bikers, they be gang banging too. Student Minister Tony Muhammad called a truce among the bike riders and organized, and over 50,000 of them rode throughout the city of Los Angeles, the state of California, and started creating peace among themselves. This is one of the best ministers in the Nation of Islam, period. One of the boldest, baddest, bravest ministers in the Nation of Islam. Are y'all ready to hear from the West Coast Regional Minister, from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Are y'all ready to hear from Brother Student Minister Tony Muhammad? Let's bring it on with a warm round of applause from Richmond, Petersburg, and all the state of Virginia. Student Minister Tony Muhammad.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. To that one who is the creator of all things, to him who is the revealer of all great and sacred truth. Oh dear family, I don't care how old any of us get to be in this wicked world's life. There's not one of us in this room that could give enough thanks to Almighty God for the servants that He has sent in a mighty line of divine. What a great God. Let us thank Him, however, for Abraham. What a man we had in Abraham. Let us thank him for giving to us Moses. For we're in a condition similar to the children of Israel. God would not allow Moses to integrate his people with the wicked. For you integrationists. God told Moses, you go tell Pharaoh. I said, let my people go. Why let them go, God? Because I'm going to do something to America, to Egypt.
Come on, brother. That is true.
I'm going to totally destroy them for what they have done. To the Israelites, but fast forward it to the black man and woman in America. I thank God for giving to us a perfect reflection of God being in a human being. That human being was Jesus Christ. The Christians really believe as we the Muslims believe. You believe that God is a man.
Yes, sir.
We do too. We believe God is that man that Jesus said would return at the end. When he says it's expedient that I go away. For if I go away, he, the Comforter, cannot come. What is he going to do, Jesus, when he comes? And he will guide you into all truth. For he is the Spirit of truth. Jesus said, it's much I can tell you, but you can't bear it now. What a God. What a man. He even told his disciples the direction he was coming. He even told his disciples the animal that was going to be used by the government that would destroy a people.
Right.
Jesus said it like this. As lightning shine from the east, even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. He's going to come from the east. And he said to his disciples, wherever the eagle is gathered, there the carcass shall be. We only a few years up from slavery.
Right.
And in truth, brothers and sisters, in 2017, most of us still have 80% of a slave mentality. And any man that will not treat you right,
Won't treat you right.
right, sister? Certainly ain't gonna teach you right. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has taught us that for every physical reality, it has a spiritual counterpart. There the carcass shall be. What is the carcass? That which is dead. What kind of mental state of mind are black people in America? Dead. What is the symbol of America? Eagle. A carcass is the remains of something that used to live. We are the spiritual and mental remains of a once great people. In a state of carcass. A carcass is doing nothing. Go in the hood. The homies are doing nothing. So I thank God for this great man, Jesus. And I thank him for the man of which, unbeknownst to us, our ancestors used to sing about.
Come on.
Through CNN and the propaganda machine that's going on today, they would make you hate Islam.
That's right.
As our ancestors laid feet, their feet, on these shores. Jamestown, Virginia, where the first slave ship appeared, and the name of that slave ship was Jesus. It was navigated by the dog of the sea, a British demon called Sir John Hawkins. Good God Almighty. Sanctioned by the Queen and backed by the Catholic Church. Oh, you're going to get it today. I know it's hot, but it's going to get hotter up than this. And our ancestors laid their feet on this soil. And as I went to the James River yesterday to feel the pain and get into the spirit of our ancestors, and I walked part of the trail, I beg God, allow me to feel some of that anxiety that my ancestors, it took nearly a year to get here, and they was in the hull of a ship. Give me their spirit. And then it dawned on me that in the book of Psalms, it reads, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. Those who took us away captive and those who wasted us away, the only thing these white people wanted from us, sing us one of those songs of Zion. But our ancestors looked up at the strange man and the taskmaster and said these words, how can I sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Amongst you are strange people. Then our ancestors said, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, mean if I lose my history, then cut the root of the tongue from my mouth. But our ancestors did sing a song. What did they sing? Give me that old time religion. What old time religion? See, you wasn't a Christian. Come on. So if they were singing, give me that old time religion while they were slaves, what religion were they talking about? They was talking about that religion. It took them 64 years to break you up. What was it? Go back and look at the movie Roots. Kunta Kinte was a Muslim. George Washington said, whatever you do to these Negroes, don't allow them two things that we took from them. That's what caused us to become 3/5 of a human being. That's a fraction. If you know anything about fractions, 3/5 of a human being, now you have to add 2/5 to 3/5. So what two things did they take? Number one, disconnect them from that God that they used to scare the hell out of us. That's right. Look, because when a black man stare down, or a black woman, when you truly give a death stare to Caucasian people, it troubles their soul. When you stand up and don't bend and don't bow, and you know you are speaking not even to your equal, nothing equals you. Come on. And I'm so fired up in Virginia. Come on. Let me get to this salutation. Oh, Lord. Don't allow them to reconnect with that God, because when a man disconnects you from God, it's like turning out the lights. And do not allow them to read so that they would be able to study who they really are. Take those two things away. It took 64 years to do that, and after they broke us, in comes 3/5 of a human being. But God told Abraham that your seed is going to go in a strange land for 400 years, and after that time I'm coming. I came to bring you some good news, Richmond.
Come on.
Can you use some good news? I came to tell you that you are the object of God's desire. I came to tell you that your direct heritage is connected to God himself, and he has come out of hiding. Oh, now y'all looking crazy. God has came in person. Huh? Go read your Bible. Hebrews 10 verse 5. God said, this day hast thou prepared a body that I may enter.
Come on.
A man came, made himself known at a time where white folks were celebrating their independence. He came as Jesus said he would come, as a thief in the night. You know how thieves move. Everybody damn near in here probably was a thief. You didn't steal while the light was on you. Oh, I'm the only one used to steal. Man, I knew it. Come on, homies. He came as a thief in the night, meaning he came undetected. He would be among you and you wouldn't even realize. The night represents you was dead. You didn't know nothing. Your mind, the light had been put out. He came in sinful flesh to condemn sin in the flesh. His name is Master Farad Muhammad. Brother, could you bring up? It should have been up here, my brother. Kind of like me and you got to get in rhythm, huh? That man right there.
Yes, sir.
You need to get to know this guy right here. Look at him. He came in sinful flesh. His mother was a Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountain. And his father was a black man. Huh? He was in the circle of elders according to your Bible. God. He went into the Caucasian woman because his people was in America worshiping white people. So he had to be especially prepared to get next to black people because they wouldn't in 1930 accept a dark-skinned black man. Because we had been made to hate black. Well, come on, talk to me. Our enemy trained us to not trust each other, didn't they? So he came in sinful flesh to condemn sin in the flesh. He came to give justice to the two people. But in Deuteronomy, God told Moses that there would be a man like you in the last day in Deuteronomy. He said, and when he find them, he's going to raise one from among them. That man came 9,000 miles. He broke the circle of scientists when all of them who said we should be destroyed because we were so terrible. He said, not my people. Huh? This man came and he found this man. That man, Elijah Muhammad, fulfilling the scripture. And he, Master Farad Muhammad, taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for only 3½ years, and he left. Fulfilling that part in the book of Matthew, where the Son of Man was to be in the heart of the earth for 3½ years. Elijah Muhammad only had a 3rd or 4th grade education. He was so wisely taught by that man. No scholar, none, no preacher, no rabbi, no scientist could touch that man in wisdom. Listen, brothers and sisters, even white folks would say these words: how is this man who's not lettered learn? Oh. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was so wise, he became the first begotten of the dead. I'm not talking about physical dead. Now I'm trying to get you to think spiritual and mental. He was plucked from a junk pile made by Caucasian people called niggers. And Master Farad Muhammad plucked him off. Elijah Muhammad had the right heart. Cleaned him up, taught him, polished him up, turned him back to the junk pile and said, go get him, Elijah. He taught Elijah Muhammad the history of Caucasian people and all people. And even to the day, no Caucasian is saying Elijah lied.
That's like one.
Even today, there is no Caucasian that can prove that they ain't devils. I'm in the vaccine movement, and white women is fighting against white male devils.
That's right.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He was so wise. Master Farad Muhammad taught him so well, his mind became feminine.
Come on.
And from his mind, he could produce a child. That man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, produced a son that is described in Revelation as one who would rule with a rod of iron. Meaning, he would love his teacher so much and his people that he would be unbendable. Come on. He would stand up on so much truth it would be unpenetrable. That man, Farrakhan, when his name is mentioned, it makes wicked Caucasian people shaking their boots like in the Lion King when Mufasa's name is mentioned. The hyenas get scared. Farrakhan is raised as a lion. Why? Because there's a people sleep in Judah. Who will awake them? It takes a lion to wake up a lion. We done had too many pussycats in front of us. Oh, I am honored to be a student of that man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I can say to the world, that be my package. Who's that baby package? I'll be that baby package. All my life, I've been looking for a man.
Tell the truth.
I thank God for this great and wonderful man. As I greet all of you, with the greeting words of peace, we say it in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum, y'all. In fact, this meeting is over. There's no sense in even going any further. We need to just go on and take acceptance. Boy, it's hot.
It's all right.
Being cool. No, really. Your mind is more powerful than you give it credit for. Yeah? Stop saying it's hot.
That's right.
It's okay, you can fan. Brothers and sisters, it's an honor and a privilege to be standing here in Richmond, Virginia with my big brother. Brother that I have known, felt, soldiered with. We've cried together at the minister's table when he beat our behind. Beautiful human being who's not perfect. You can't take perfect. I'm going to say that again.
Yes, sir.
Why y'all keep trying to find perfect stuff? You can't take perfect. You can't take what you are not. Here you ain't perfect, but you're looking for the perfect situation. You set yourself up for failure. I'm looking for the perfect man. Where is he? I'm looking for the perfect woman. Really? You're not going to find it. Look for someone you can compliment. See? Look for someone that even if you see a little flaw, the only thing you want to do is be the brother or sisterhood part of their flaw and cover it down. You done heard too many nursery stories. Alright? So it's an honor to be with our student minister here at Muhammad's Mosque number 24. Let's give our dear brother, student minister Tracy, a round of applause for the... Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Do you know how hard it is to serve and help black people? Crazy black people? Like me and you? I'm telling you, I'm crazy. It's the hardest job in the world. Because most leaders who have come to you have been robbers and thieves. Minister Farrakhan said, brother, you sure you want to help me with black people? He said, they're not going to thank you. Don't be looking for no 1 year anniversary. You're not going to get no plaque. They ain't going to even give you a certificate. He asked me these questions. Can you take a cursing and give back a blessing? And I sit there with my silly self. Yes, sir. He said, oh, I don't. He looked away, and that meant something. I'm like, okay, why are you looking away? He said, when people speak against you, ill things, can you keep your eye on what you were sent to do? He said, because if you can, you'll be all right in this work. Do nothing seeking gain or favor. Our people have been hurt, and they will hate you before they love you. They will look at you suspiciously, and it is your job to find a way to win their heart through suffering. Well, I thank God for every lady. I thank God for Brother Ernest, who's here from Norfolk. Let's give Brother Ernest a hand, and all of those who had a few words to say. I've never taught in the great state of Virginia. But when I flew into Norfolk, a strange kind of sensation of feeling came over me, and I didn't know what it was. And then, as the brothers was telling me some about the history, it dawned on me that this area is very special. Because this is where our ancestors was brought. First place, Virginia. 1555. I know they lied to you and say 1619. That's a lie. They only used that date because it took 64 years to break up. They had rulers in that hole. They had kings who weren't used to being punked out. They had queens that they had raped on the way over here. Can you imagine warriors in the hull of the ships? And we could hear either our grandmother, our daughter, or our wives being raped by the Portuguese, the Dutch, and the British, and we was in chain and we couldn't get to them crackers. What did that do to your psyche? And then they get us to Jamestown, Virginia, and the James River. That's right. And they made us walk with chains, taking us through what we took them through. He's hard. Come on. Come to line, bro. Well, I'm here today by the grace of God to help resurrect your mind. You are living in the period of the resurrection of the dead. I know Pastor done lied to you. You believe that your ancestors that's in those graves gonna get up. Come on now. When I talk to my Christian pastor's friends, I said, now, Pastor, your Christianity is based on the resurrection of the dead. I said, so are you telling me that everybody who's dead, you're going to see those bodies again? Yes, yes, Brother Muhammad, that's correct. Now, I'm from L.A.
Yes, sir.
What's the name of the big cemetery here? Let me ask you a question. If you was walking by the cemetery and you saw people coming up, would you go run to hug? You might shoot at them and then get up out of there. That's not the resurrection. The resurrection of the dead only can be known if you know how people can die. There are 3 stages of death.
Come on. Each other.
Number 1, spiritual death.
Right.
2, you can be dead or murdered mentally. And if you are dead spiritually and mentally, you are a self-hater who will perpetuate your own death. Before there's even physical death. We believe in the mental resurrection of the black man and woman, and we have to be resurrected first.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So let's walk down the yellow brick road.
Let's go. Bring it on, come on now.
Today, we're off to see the wizard.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And at the end of my lecture, let's see if you are still holding on to the energy of a scarecrow. At the end of this presentation, I want to see if you're acting like a lion, but you're really a pussycat. At the end of this lecture, let's see if you still want to take the mannequin challenge, because that's the condition of the tin maker. We didn't have enough heart to even reach for the oil, which represents knowledge. But you reaching today. Then when we get to see the wizard, you're going to see that little dog, which if you turn the word dog around, is God who opened the curtain to show Dorothy the man was tricking her. Oh, you hope to see the wizard now. So, today, this PowerPoint, go back, brother. Is that the first one? Okay, stay right there. Now, my job is to help you see. All right? Every member in the Nation of Islam, when I walked through these doors 33 years ago, I was sitting in a seat just like you, brother. I was one of the biggest dope dealers in Atlanta, Georgia. I had brushes with the nation all my life and didn't even know it. There are 2 means by which I came into the nation. I always talk about this one. There was a brother who was working on me at Eastern Airlines. When I worked there, he was a Muslim brother, and nobody bothered him. Everybody called him Brother Oliver, even white folks. And he, for some reason, liked me because I always got into skirmishes with white people. And he would call me over to his table, brother, calm your behind down. They're trying to play you out of pocket because they're going to get you fired. He was reading a book, but he had a newspaper over it. He said, look, if I give you this book, will you read it? I said, yeah. He gave me the book. The name of the book was Message to the Black Man. Now I thought I was a starch dope dealer Christian. When I opened that book, it said the white man is the devil. I threw it away. A couple of years later, I'm selling dope. One of my lieutenants come to my apartment, and he got this videotape. He said, brother, do you know Farrakhan? You got to hear this tape. man, in my arrogance, I said, man, do that nigga know me? I got 3 birds. Y'all know what a bird is, don't you? One brother sitting there like, damn, you got birds? He said, can I put on this tape? I said, I don't care what you do. Hurry up, put it on, because after I get through cutting this dope up, y'all gotta go. He put the tape in. It's titled, Power at Last Forever. And the minister was teaching out of LA. I'm sitting there weighing and measuring the drugs, and the rhythm and the cadence from his voice, the vibration, it shook me. And there was a whole bunch of people at this huge event, thousands of even white folks. I'm like, brother, who is this? He said, nigga, this bar. I said, shut up. Let me hear what this man got to say. The minister was running down our history, who we truly were and are. I said, I've been wanting to hear something like this all my life, man. Then he got to a part and he said, brother, do you realize who you are? Then he was saying, no nation can rise any higher than its woman. And the black man is akin to God. He said, but brother, in your ignorance, you are being used as a patriot missile for Caucasian people to destroy your own. That's right. I got rocked. Then he said, and you dope dealers. Oh, I'm ready. He said, you want me to turn it up? I said, no, I got to take this. He said, I don't have a problem with your spirit wanting to be an entrepreneur. I got a problem with your product. Come on. Come on. He said, if you get with this teaching and come, follow me, I'll make you a fisher of men. Tears rolling down my eyes because I could see everybody I was destroying. Their faces was popping up in my head. That tape was over. As God is my witness, I took all those drugs off of my coffee table, went to the toilet and poured it and flushed it in the toilet. And the brother who brought the tape said these words, Negro, if I knew you was going to do that, I would have never brought the tape. I pulled my pistol out and put it by my side. I said, get out, brother. I said, there's a brother at my job been telling me about this. I said, I'm going to get with him and I'm going to get with this man. Any man that talk like that, I'm rolling with him. And I went and joined the nation. And now, I'm standing my crazy behind in front of you. So the same dog that bit you, bit me. And I'm trying to work out my salvation.
Good teaching, black man.
Because I was an instrument of death for white people. And I'm going to work that out. Y'all ready? In the Nation of Islam, every member have to recite from this book called Supreme Wisdom. Right. That man, Master Farad Muhammad, brought us our property deed. Right. In this book of wisdom, it gives us our spiritual condition and how we could come up out of it. That man, Elijah Muhammad, was asked questions and he had to give the answer. And since his answer was the best of all the ministers that Master Farad Muhammad taught, his answers became the answer we were to learn by heart. Brothers and sisters in the nation, really the supreme wisdom is not something you should read. It's actually medicine you should take. Because every word has light in it and vibration in it. And when you put it to heart, meaning you live it. Look at this question, because you're going to run into this. Elijah Muhammad was asked this question by his teacher. Why does the devil keep our people illiterate? He was asked that question. Look at our community today. We're illiterate. You can pronounce words. You're great at pronunciation. But when we ask you what do these words mean, you don't know. And Elijah Muhammad's answer was, so that he can use them for a tool and also a slave. He keeps them blind to themselves so that he can master them. Illiterate means ignorant. You're going to run into this as I take you down this journey, all right? Now, the Caucasian system, everything about his system, his education, his sports, his music, every field of endeavor is rooted in white supremacy. And the black man and woman, and even Caucasians, even the brown man and the Native American, we suffer from the mindset of white supremacy. Guess what? You don't have to be white to carry out the mind of white supremacy. Black people who think they're white will carry out white supremacy and not even realize you're doing it. Gang members carry out white supremacy, don't even realize they're doing it. Pimps carry out white supremacy and don't even know they're doing it. Because the first mode of operandi that a white supremacy operate on is that white is good and black is bad. That's right. Second one is they devalue the life of people of color. Do we devalue our own life? So let's pull out these enemies. Go to the next slide. Look at this scripture. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to me, brother, the Bible is a book of scriptures.
Come on now, bring it down.
In the word scripture is the word script.
Right.
I'm from LA. Writers write scripts. They take the script and hand it to a casting director. That's the way God is. That casting director calls the actors. They give each one a script. Then they make them compete. Which of you can get the soul of the character, the heart of the character, that makes me to believe that you are this character? God is like that. God can lift out scripture, the minister say, and superimpose it over Richmond, over America. And you will fulfill every scripture is pointed at black people in America. Come on now, walk with me. So we're going to call Mr. Jeremiah. Brother Jeremiah, you was a prophet. Prophets are ones who prophesied about the last days. Jeremiah 11 and 19. Let's see if this fits us. But I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought to slaughter. Check this one out. And I knew not that they had devised devices against me. Wait. Did you see that? I didn't even know they had devised devices against me. Saying, let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may be no more remembered. Saying, let us destroy the tree. Come on, y'all, this is Virginia. When y'all have a family reunion, what do you look at the family what? Tree. But your tree roots don't go deep enough. Right. You ask a black man in America, where you from? I'm Mississippi. I'm Alabama. No, brother, where you really from? But go ask a white Italian, where you from? They proudly tell you, Italy. You didn't know? See? Go ask a Chinese, where you from? China. They proudly say we're the only group that always mention the state where our parents were slaves. So you and I have been cut off from the land of the living. Cut off from our roots. Let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and men are called the fruit of the tree. Come on, follow me. So that what? His name may be no more remembered. Brother, what's your name? No, what is your name? I ain't asking you what is your white man's name. Right. Your last name ties you to the plantation that white folks held our parents. Sorry to tell you that. My last name before it was Muhammad was Dixon. My roots or family was in Abbeville, South Carolina. I went there. That plantation is still there, and the white Dixon still live there. Wow.
Good teaching, Black.
Because my name is no more remembered.
Yes.
You're going to run into this. You're going to run into devices. I did not know. See, that's our problem. I didn't know this was happening with vaccines.
Yes.
Next slide. Now I'm going to give you why. Minister Farrakhan said, brother, when you read the Bible about wicked pharaohs, don't hold on to that it's a history story. Right. He said, everything you read in the Bible is happening right now. What God did is he let you look at Satan's mind and his motives.
Come on now.
This is the book of Exodus. Exodus, that's right, means, like that movie said, get out. Get out.
Come on.
That brother in the movie went amongst white people and they told you what they want. They love our body parts. But the children of Israel troubled Pharaoh for these reasons. And in the book of Exodus, look at how it reads. Come on, Pharaoh talk. When he saw the children of Israel having a lot of babies. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
But that's not what troubled his heart. That was a Moses in his boys. Moses was teaching hard. And Moses didn't like how Pharaoh was treating God's people. And Moses was trying to get the people to come up out of Egypt. I mean, trying to get you to come up out of America. You don't want to leave. God is going to force you to. Now, I'm getting ready to give you the mind of every president who have sit in the seat of the White House, including Obama. Here's Pharaoh. He saw him multiply and he said, come on, let us deal what? Come on, let us deal wisely with them. The word wisely means, one of its definitions means in a slick way, unbeknownst to the person I'm about to perpetrate it on. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they do what? Multiply. See, they're scared of our birth rate. Is somebody scared of our birth rate today?
Yes, right.
And it come to pass that when there come when the falling out any war, they may join on to our own enemies. Is there a war being planned? Is Trump throwing out a lot of war threats? Look at white people worried about people joining ISIS. Really, that's not what they fear. They fear you joining the nation.
That's right. That's right. Listen.
When they planning to go to war, you may join on into an enemy of ours. I'm telling you, the Nation of Islam in America, under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is and is the enemy of the government of America. They're not saying it.
That's right.
They don't want us here in America. And so let us get them up out of the land. Let's go to the next slide. Now we're getting ready to show you the enemies, the hidden ones. Do y'all know this demon? Good. His name is Samuel A. Cartwright. This demon practice medicine. We have a lesson that Elijah Muhammad was given and we were taught. Lesson number 2, question number 28, about how devil was made. And the law that Yaqub used to make devils. And the disciplines that he used to make devils.
Right.
He used a doctor.
Right.
He used a nurse. He used a minister and a cremator to make a devil. These vaccines, once injected in your black boys, alter their mental state of condition. Therefore, when you alter something, you make it a devil. When you're not yourself, when you're other than yourself, you are a devil. I'm going to prove my point.
Go ahead.
See, it's all in their education. He also studied psychiatry under Benjamin Rush. Benjamin Rush is the father of psychiatry. This demon in 1851, he taught that black people could develop a mental disorder.
That's right.
Listen at what he said.
Listen.
Samuel Cartwright, a white Louisiana physician, justified enslavement with 2 mental disorders. One he called drapetomania. This was during slavery. Because it took them 64 years to break us, and once they got us broke, they said that black men and women now will worship white people as if they are God, and they will perpetually will not buck us. We done put so much pain in them over the years. We kept beating these niggas so much so that we made them feel the pain that we would put on them. So to avoid the pain, they'll submit to us. And they'll do it for so long till it becomes automatic. Good God Almighty. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Drapetomania. Look at what it means. Drepto means runaway slave. Mania means mad and crazy. Cartwright claimed that drapetomania caused blacks to have uncontrollable urge to run away from their master. Is that what happened to Trayvon Martin? Don't you run from me. It's a systemic system. Is that what happened to Mike Brown? What was he guilty of? Running. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Look at what the treatment was. The treatment was whipping the devil out of them. You run from us, we'll whoop you.
Yes.
You couldn't even run from a 7-year-old white boy. If he called a 70-year-old man, that 70-year-old man had to come to that white boy, get on his knees and say, yes, sir.
Good job, brother.
Next slide. Do y'all know what this is? Where do you normally see this symbol? Ambulance. I like it, but say ambulance. That's a real ambulance right there. That means there's a black person in it. You have 2 snakes crawling up an upright pole with wings on it. White people don't give you no symbols without knowing its true meaning. Caucasians are from Europe. This is a Greek symbol called the caduceus. That's right. It is the staff of a Greek god called Hermes. Hermes actually was a god used by Satan. Follow me. He had 3 jobs. One, he was the conductor of death. You can go Google it. He had to conduct death, but he came in the name of health. Right. So the people thought he was helping them and he was actually killing them. Brothers and sisters, do you know that one of the #1 causes of death is medical malpractice? Where your mother went to get an operation, supposed to have been something simple, and died on the operating table because it was a white boy who just graduated out of med school, and he was practicing on your mama. But he told you, sorry, we couldn't help her. No, I killed her. His second job was protect all liars. And thirdly, protect all thieves. Your doctors are lying to you now.
That's right.
And the media is lying to you. They are protecting the pharmaceutical industry, which are still in the life of our children.
Right.
Next slide. We're gonna move a little faster. Do y'all know who these two devils are? I mean demons? These are the originators of the Tuskegee experiment. This Tuskegee experiment was in 1930, the year of our Lord. It used to be called the United States Health Service. The name was changed to the CDC. Remember that. Why does the devil keep our people illiterate? You know what they did? They came to Tuskegee. Because Tuskegee had the highest level of illiteracy among black people. They came to Tuskegee in the name of health. Mr. Clark, he was the originator of the Tuskegee experiment, but he developed a moral conscience and he didn't carry it out. But this Jew, he was the experimental executor of it.
Yes, sir.
He went to Tuskegee, next slide. Caduceus, Hermes. It came in the name of health. They gave Tuskegee Institute, this man, Mr. Moulton, was the head of Tuskegee in 1930. They gave him a check and told him, we want to help your people. No, they didn't know the real plan. They trusted white people.
Yes, sir. Listen. Yes.
Why does the devil keep our people illiterate? So that he can use them as a tool and also a slave. I'm going to use them as a tool. This man, Dr. Dibble, he helped them carry out the experiment, but it was this nurse. Remember the nurse?
Right.
Yakub used what? A doctor, a nurse, a cremator, and a minister. She was loved by the black community.
Yes.
She was the link to the black community. She didn't know these demons wanted to kill her people. She trusted them, and she encouraged black men to let these people inject them with syphilis, but they thought they was checking them for bad blood. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Go ahead.
I gotta give you the history of the devil, or you're doomed to repeat it. So don't tell me, white people, I'm talking about wicked ones, and I know I'm looking at Facebook Live. I always say to my white friends if I have any.
Come on, if you have.
If there's any good white people, I ain't talking about you, but you know good and well that y'all got some wicked white folks.
Yes, sir. Right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Ain't none of us, there is not one black person in power who's over pharmaceutical industry. Not one.
That's right.
So, this sister went and got black men. These demons shot them up with the most virulent form of venereal disease at that time. Then allowed them to go have sex with other black women, contaminating the tree with the fruit thereof.
Listen.
See these scriptures come alive now?
Yes, sir.
Come on, let us deal what? Wisely with them.
Sir, come on with it.
My people is like a lamb or an ox that is brought to slaughter, and they know not that we had devised a device against them. Next slide. This is one of the actual men. Every time this stuff makes me so angry, man. You know, brother, you know, naturally, sister, this is why black men, we've always been scared of doctors. You never knew why, but why don't you go to the doctor? I just didn't like nobody telling me, say, Bend over. Bend what? And what you get ready to do? I don't know you like that. When we stick this in cough. Oh, no sir. No sir. I'll do it. Tell me what to look for. You got your prostate check? I'll check it. You go up in there, I'm gonna feel something. I'm gonna be questioning myself. Am I a sister? Next slide. Y'all know this demon? This man, J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover studied theology. He was a very, very brilliant man. Some might say he was a Rhodes Scholar. But he was very brilliant. He had a deeply rooted fear that most black and white people didn't even know it. What he really feared. See, when you study theology, and in theology, from the book of Genesis all the way to the book of Revelation, is talking about people who are enslaved to other oppressors. And in that oppression, it always shows how God will visit an oppressed people. He has to come. And every time he visited an oppressed people, he always blessed the womb of some oppressed woman. She don't even know that she's about to have a child. And that child is going to grow up regular, an ordinary child, but it's going to become extraordinary. This is why every sister that's carrying a boy child, or child in general, should be very careful how you raise him. Telling him he ain't nothing. Don't do that. He knew that. Click it again. Let me show you what he feared. He feared the rise of a black Messiah. This is all in the Library of Congress. You can get this through the Freedom of Information Act because he started COINTELPRO. He wanted to, in the 50s and 60s, destroy all black organizations, and he said the number one organization that he wanted to destroy was the Nation of Islam. Good God. Why else? Because he knows Elijah Muhammad made men and women that don't buy the house. We don't talk out. We ain't the only one, but man, nobody, I mean, come on now. Come on. That's right. You can tell us we different.
That's right.
Huh? He feared the rise of a what?
Black Messiah.
I'm going to show you what he did through the pharmaceutical industry. We in trouble, brothers and sisters, if we don't wake up and come on home.
That's right.
Next slide. Now, they give you another set of glasses to put on. J. Edgar Hoover feared what? The rise of a black Messiah. So did Herod. We're dealing with a mind. J. Edgar Hoover had Herod's mind in the book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 16. Let's look at Herod's mind. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, he was exceedingly wroth. Good term. Pissed off. Wroth means he was angry, he was mad, he was very upset, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coast thereof, to kill all babies from what? 2 years old and under, according to the time, which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. So his job was kill children 2 years and under. If you saw this movie Vax, why is it that the CDC is trying to force women to have their baby vaccinated before they're 2 years old. You have to get the MMR right between 15 and 18 months. Now they're making it a law. And when you go back to our lessons, Elijah Muhammad was taught that the nurse's role in making a devil was to stick a needle in the brain of the babies. Man, we were taught this.
Right. Listen.
Good God Almighty. This is the mind of J. Edgar Hoover. But J. Edgar Hoover ran in the circles with the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the DuPonts and the Carnegies. Next slide. Do y'all know this heifer? That's what I called her. I wanted to say something else, but the minister probably will bust me. Her name is Margaret Sanger. She's the founder of Planned Parenthood. She switched the names because the other one she had was not politically correct at the time. The first name was the Negro Project. Now look at her mind. Margaret Sanger said these words. The founder of Planned Parenthood of America, who advocated psychiatric eugenics, said that the solution to racial inferiority was sterilization. Please hear me. She was respected by government officials. She said the solution to racial inferiority was sterilization. Do you know, and I think it's South Carolina, that they had a sterilization law in every southern city? And South Carolina just rescinded theirs only in 2005.
Wow. Listen.
One county in the Carolinas, nearly 90% of the black women in one county got sterilized by this demon.
That's right. That's right.
I know y'all didn't know, brother. See it? Here it goes again. Now check this out. I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought to slaughter. She said, knowing that the churches were the heart of the African American community, in an October 19th, 1939 letter, she wrote of a plan to use black ministers with engaging personalities to preach that sterilization was a solution to poverty. Listen, she stated, listen at her, stated, and I quote, "We do not want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten that idea out if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members." Unquote.
Wow.
Black women sprint to this clinic. You don't even know what's happening to you in there. Huh? Sister, we didn't have cancers of the cervix. We didn't have uterine cancer. All that stuff is new. Did they put it in you when you got the pap smear? You better find you some good conscious black doctors.
Right.
Next slide. Margaret Sanger had an admirer. Margaret Sanger said these words: "Colored people are like human weeds and need to be exterminated." You can go to YouTube. A lot of her interviews. She did interviews. She's on TV. I know you're not going to believe me, but go look at what white folks tell you. You can go on YouTube and put her name in and all of her tapes will pop up. You will hear her say from her own mouth how she hated us and called us undesirable. Now her plan was to do what? Talk back to me, students. Exterminate who? But look at what this demon said about her. I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. She did this in a speech, I think it was 2008 or 2009. You can Google it. She said, I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Really? Her courage. Really? Her tenacity and her vision. And she goes on to say, and I want to carry out her vision.
Listen.
What? And no Negro leader said nothing to her when she was running for presidency.
Right.
I wanted to interview her. I wanted to do a debate. And I would have broke the question on her behind. Also, the Clintons are tied in to the pharmaceutical industry. Next slide, dear brother. We're going to move a little faster. Brothers and sisters, this is the one that I really wanted to get to. This one is shocking. This man's name is Dr. Harry Bailey. In the 1950s, at Tulane University, he and another Australian doctors, check out what they did. You can get this. You can just Google him. White people is telling you what they've done and they're still doing. Look at what he did. In New Orleans, black prisoners were used for psychosurgery. Were used for what? Psychosurgery. Destroying healthy parts of the brain. Do you know what psychosurgery is? It's like they shock you.
That's right.
They're shocking you.
Yes, sir.
They doing what to you? You ever seen the movie Frankenstein? Remember that little scientist? Frankenstein was not the name of the monster. Frankenstein was the name of the Jewish doctor.
Yeah.
And remember, Frankenstein had these prongs on his jugular because they've read the Quran. Well, Allah says, I'm as close to the black man as your own jugular veins. And they shot Frankenstein. Keep shocking Frankenstein. And then the doctor would put who his enemies were and would tell Frankenstein to go kill his enemies. Are you being told which white man got enemies? And he said, oh, you know, Saddam Hussein is my enemy, and there you go, the black Frankenstein going to war. Okay, let's read through this. Some of y'all, I know it's hot and you're sleepy.
Take your time, brother.
Smoked that weed last night. Hit you a little bit before you got here because I wasn't going to really be listening to them Muslims. In New Orleans, black prisoners were used for psychosurgery, destroying healthy parts of the brain. Experiments that involved implanting electrodes into their brains. Dr. Heath from Tulane University, an Australian psychiatrist, Dr. Harry Bailey, conducted the psychosurgery experiment. Listen to this. Dr. Bailey boasted that they used blacks as it was cheaper to use niggas than cats.
Listen.
I know. Because they were everywhere and cheap experimental animals. He had also, this is heavy, he had also received funding from the CIA to carry out drug experiments on African American prisoners at the Louisiana State Penitentiary. According to a CIA memo, they sought to determine whether the drug could cause four things in black men: a loss of speech, a loss of sensitivity to pain. Hey God, we don't feel it when we kill other people. A loss of memory and a loss of willpower. Those are all symptoms in autism. Did y'all hear me? Those are all symptoms in autism. The question is, did they get the drug? Yes, they did. Next slide. Y'all know this demon?
Yes, sir.
Richard Nixon was the first president who started the pipeline to prisons. Because in the 70s we had all these protests. Do you know that psychiatry blames the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual? Do you know that when we used to protest, they used to call that schizophrenia? Schizophrenia started off being called protest psychosis. And they blamed the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because under protest psychosis it said, could you imagine, why would black people want to go back to African names and African ideology? They called it schizophrenia. This dude, he learned how to trick the civil rights movement, and he showed white people how to speak one language to their people while black people would take it in another kind of way. Listen at what he said. Nixon said, look, we understood we couldn't make it illegal to be young or poor or black in the United States, but we could criminalize their common pleasures.
That's it.
Come on, let us deal what? We're like a lamb or an ox, and we don't even know we're being brought to slaughter. He also quoted, and I quote, the whole problem in America is really the blacks. But check this out. The key is to devise a system that recognizes this while not appearing to. Then he started coining phrases. He had a war on unrest, is what he called his. Now all the presidents were using a war on something. Next slide. Isaiah saw this. Isaiah 42 and 22. Look at Mr. Isaiah. He said, but this is a people robbed and spoiled, and they are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid where? In prison houses.
Go ahead, go ahead.
They are for a prey, and none said, let's deliver them for a spoil, and none said, let's restore them. Let's just put them in prison. I wonder if a lot of us are going to prison. Where have we been hidden? Come back in prison houses. Are the youth, black males particularly, being routed to prison? Next slide. You're going to see this.
Yes.
What is the difference between this slave and this one?
Right.
This slave, look at this, man. Look at these devils. They about to bid on him. He's standing in Jamestown, Virginia, on the trading blocks. That's why something special about y'all.
Come on, brother.
The blood of our ancestors soaked the soil of this day, and it's incumbent on you to wake the hell up today, so that we can get back in the spirit of the ancestors. He's been sold to plantation. Now, this is a picture of a brother in California. Do you know in California, when black men go to prison, the prison unions are there.
That's right. That's right.
And in California, depending on your level of education will determine what prison you go to.
Come on, brother. Okay.
And the prisons are owned by Wall Street, private companies. Oh, y'all give. Next slide, next slide.
Tell it.
This slave ship brought us into slavery, and black men was chained in the hull of a ship. It took 9 months to get us to Virginia. By the time we got to Virginia, 40% of the feet of the black men, their toes had been ate off by rats. This is a slave ship that brought us into slavery in 1555. This is the ship they're using now.
That's right.
Black men on the county bus, chained together from different tribes.
Right. Are you teaching it, brother?
Bloods and Crips, nigga. Yeah, but they got both of you.
That's right.
As long as you got tribal wars, white people will stay in power. As long as the NAACP fighting against the SCLC, as long as Church of God in Christ is kicking the hell out of the Baptist church, tribes, tribal people, they benefit from us being divided and what? Next slide. What's the difference in this condition and that? What's the difference? This is an artist's drawing of how some ships brought black men over here. Can you imagine laying in close quarters like that? And when this man would defecate, it would land on this man.
Listen.
When this man would die, it'd take days to pull his body out. Stacked in the hull of ships. In Los Angeles, the prisons are so overcrowded, they have bunk beds stacked 8 levels high. I wouldn't want to be on that top one. Stacked, ain't no difference. Look at these strong black men. Hidden, where? In prison houses. There go your husband. Strong black men. Huh? In a condition of crime because all the jobs are pulled out of Richmond, pulled out of LA, creating a condition while at the same time they playing lifestyles of the rich and famous. The rappers are talking about being in Benzos, being in Bentleys, but them ain't got no money. Next slide. Oh, this bastard. That's what I call him. Right to minister. He in Richmond custody. This man sent crack cocaine into South Central Los Angeles.
That's right.
There was no drug problem in LA. He created it.
That's right.
He used Oliver North, sent crack cocaine, took money from black people and gave it to the FBI, created a condition to route us back into prison. Next slide. He carried it out too, because now these Republican president wanted to show the world they could be tough on crime. The word crime became synonymous to black people.
Right. That's right. That's right.
I'm going to be tough on drugs. Drug dealers became synonymous to black people. We was not the drug dealers, we were the drug pawns. The dealers was the kings and the queens who moved it.
Right.
White folks who own the boats, the planes, and the canoes. We don't even own the inner tube. Next slide. Y'all know this lying dog. Next slide. But this boy, he was the most deadly to black people of any other president. I hope he felt it. I hope Clinton somewhere said because the Republicans have been winning every year. So he wanted to prove he could be tougher on crime than any other president. And under him, more black men went to prison under him than all of the other presidents combined. Please listen. Under him, he came up with the one-strike law. He took away welfare from black women before he gave us a chance to adjust. He did it. He, under HUD, came up with the one-strike law. It was devastating in LA. One-strike law means under HUD that any black woman who lived in the government projects in LA, if her son committed a crime, the whole family got evicted. Wow. We saw homelessness go up by 70% among black women. That's right. But check this out. Once she, sisters, was homeless, she went downtown to stay in a mission. Once she went to the mission, here comes the new slave catcher called the Department of Family and Children's Services. Look at what they did. Shaniqua, we got to take your babies. Oh, no, why? They can't live in this condition. There are pedophiles in here. But these my babies, and the babies holding their mama, and the police tear the babies. Please listen, this is some crazy stuff. I know some sisters in LA, they went crazy because of that. They took their babies, and look at what they did. There are white women who own foster home in a place called the Valley in California. Our government take Shaniqua's children, give them to a white foster care owner, and give that owner at least $18,000 to $3,000 a month.
That's right.
Please listen, $3 grand a month for taking care of Shaniqua's children. You done gave her 5. Do the math. 3 times 5 is $15,000 a month. Why would you give that to Shaniqua? You telling me that my children have more value in the hands of a demon? And in order for the mother to get her child back, she got to go through a psychiatric evaluation. And the first thing they do to her children, now the children they cry, I want my mama, I want my mama. Then they put them under psychiatric evaluation. And then put all of them on Ritalin. And by the next time the mama see her children, they're docile. Probably been raped. I see this, brothers and sisters. We are like a lamb or an ox that is brought to slaughter. This demon did it.
That's right.
He went and met with Wall Street. He promised them. He found out a way. Remember, a lot of money was made under him. Let me show you how. He took jobs out of the urban communities and he told Wall Street, go invest in prisons. I'm going to route black men into prison and you'll be able to use prison labor. Next slide. Up come the new plantation owner. Every one of these companies own prisons.
That's right. That's right.
Look at it good. You support the hell out of them too.
That's right.
AT&T, Microsoft, Dell, Motorola, Boeing, Target. Didn't Public Enemy try to tell us we was the target? Macy's, Nordstrom. And then when the minister 10-10-15, when he told us to boycott, Macy's got hit the worst, man, because that man Farrakhan had us to boycott, and they never wanted that. So right after Clinton, all of these businesses were excited about the economic boom they experienced between 1980 and 1994. They experienced, profits went up $392 million to $1.3 billion because of prison labor. Black men in LA working and building Levitt's furniture. Dell computers. Next slide. This man, Zbigniew Brzezinski, was an advisor. He had an address to the Council of Foreign Relations. He said it used to be easier to control 1 million people than to kill them. Now it's infinitely easier to kill 1 million than to control them. Next slide. Y'all like this demon, don't you? Real quickly, I have a 2-minute video. I want you to hear him for yourself, and I'm ending. This man, Bill Gates' father, was the chairman of the board for Planned Parenthood. Bill Gates is a eugenist too. Bill Gates is blaming people of color for global warming. That's right. He's saying there's too many people on the planet. He's a population controlist. Do you have him queued up?
The equation on the CO2 is actually a very straightforward one. If you sum up the CO2 that gets emitted, that leads to a temperature increase. And that temperature increase leads to some very negative effects. The effects on the weather, perhaps worse, the indirect effects in that the natural ecosystems can't adjust to these rapid changes, and so you get ecosystem collapses. Now the exact amount of how you map from a certain increase in CO2 to what temperature will be and where the positive feedbacks are, there's some uncertainty there, but not very much. And there's certainly uncertainty about how bad those effects will be, but they will be extremely bad. I asked the top scientists in this several times, do we really have to get down to near zero? Can't we just cut it in half or a quarter? And the answer is that until we get near to zero, the temperature will continue to rise. And so that's a big challenge. It's very different than saying, we're a 12-foot high truck trying to get under a 10-foot bridge and we can just sort of squeeze under. This is something that has to get to zero. Now, we put out a lot of carbon dioxide every year, over 26 billion tons. For each American, it's about 20 tons. For people in poor countries, it's less than 1 ton. It's an average about 5 tons for everyone on the planet. And somehow we have to make changes that will bring that down to zero. It's been constantly going up. It's only various economic changes that have even flattened it at all. So we have to go from rapidly rising to falling and falling all the way to zero. This equation has 4 factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero.
Listen.
That's back from high school algebra. But let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there we see an increase of about 1.3.
See, let's hear that again. I think you missed it. What are they going to use?
New vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services. We could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
He admits vaccine will be used to lower the population by 10 to 15%. He admits it.
Yes.
Bring it up. Bring it back up. Did y'all hear that?
Yes, sir.
New vaccines. What else? Reproductive health service. That's abortions. They already got us in abortion. We think abortions are natural. We don't even know that's really against God.
That's right. That's right.
God said be fruitful and multiply.
Right.
White man said no. Don't have baby. Bring it up the other slide, brother. That's incredible, isn't it? Yes. Bill Gates. Bill Gates is one of the largest investors in the pharmaceutical industry. Minister Farrakhan said these words to Mr. Kennedy and the other scientists. He said the pharmaceutical industry can be found in the book of Revelation styled under the term dragon. And if you go to chapter 12, verses 4, 5, and 6, it talks about a dragon standing in front of a woman to kill her child as soon as it's born. The hepatitis B shot is the most dangerous of all of them. They're telling you that when your baby is born, it needs a hepatitis B shot. The only way you can get hepatitis is through sex or dirty needles. Right. You mean to tell me your 3-day, 30-minute-old baby is having sex using dirty needles? So now the pharmaceutical industry owns ABC, CBS, NBC. So they put fears out there to make you run to them. And Margaret Sanger said, I'm going to use what? The preachers. Woe to the shepherd who feeds himself and not the flock. And the shepherds are leading sheep to slaughter.
Right.
And if the pharmaceutical, remember the dragon opened up his mouth and a floodgate went out. The minister said that's the press. A floodgate of propaganda. But remember, Michael and his angels came at the head of 10,000 fearless. This is why Minister Farrakhan said, I need 10,000 fearless people. We ain't scared of nothing. We're looking for the Joshua generation. We can get rid of this dragon. All we got to do is tell them we ain't doing none of that crap. Johnson & Johnson makes $71 billion a year. Novartis makes $58 billion a year. Hoffman and Roche makes $50 billion a year. Pfizer makes $51 billion. Merck $44 billion. Sanofi $44 billion. Nearly $1 trillion dollars are made in profits from the pharmaceutical industry, and you can't even sue them if they kill your baby. What we gonna do, y'all? Next slide. What we gonna do, Black Richmond? Now, the Nuremberg Codes. This is a law brought about the United Nations when the Jews suffered in the Holocaust because the pharmaceutical industry was used in the Holocaust. Did you know that? Jewish people was being experimented on as they was burning in ovens by the pharmaceutical industry. So the Nuremberg Code, #1 code, says no human being. It says the voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential before you practice any medicine on them. Next slide. Next slide. Next one. Remember, in the Tuskegee experiment, black men was given free health care. Obamacare is offering free health care. 70% of it is supposed to be mental health. They're trying to get you to go to psychiatrists so that they can give you psychotropic drugs. Next slide. I close with this scripture and we out of here. The Holy Quran says these words. Please listen. It's so beautiful. Surah 3, verse 117. All you who believe, take not for intimate friends other than your own people.
Listen.
See, if you don't, they spare no pain to cause you loss. They love that which, what? Distresses you. Vehement hatred has already appeared from out of their mouths, and that which their heart conceal is greater still. Indeed, we have made the messages clear to you, if you understand. We've made this message clear, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Lo, see, you are they who will love them while they love you not. And you believe in the book and the whole of it. And when they meet you, they say, we believe. And when they are alone, they bite their fingertips and rage against you. So Allah says, die in your rage. Surely Allah is knower of what's in the hearts. If good befalls you, it grieves them. And if evil afflicts you, they rejoice at it. And if you are patient and keep your duty, their struggle will not injure you in any way. Surely Allah encompasses what they do. How are we going to get out of this? Next slide. You got to do this. Run into the arms of this man. This man, Farrakhan, is the boldest leader anywhere to be found on the earth. This man, Farrakhan. I thank you, dear brothers and sisters, and I greet all of you in this beautiful state of Richmond, this beautiful state of Virginia. Stand on your feet for our ancestors whose blood soaked this soil. All praises be to Allah. All praises be to Allah. Sit down. I have two questions. How many of you, this is your first time at a Nation of Islam family reunion? Raise your hand. Oh, there go cuz, man. There go cuz. Look, thank you. I want you to know we blood of each other's blood.
That's right. That's right.
We bone of each other's bone. It's time to reconnect again.
That's right.
It's time for us to be able to feel each other's pain, that if something happened to you in Richmond, I should be feeling it in LA.
That's right.
That's how we used to be.
That's right.
Huh? How many of you believe what you heard today to be the truth and good for us as a people? Raise your hand. Oh, you believe? Oh, that's beautiful. Then I'm going to ask you another question. Now I'm going to see what you're made of.
That's right.
I told you I was going to take you to see who. He done pulled the covers off who the white man is. He's acting like he's God. He ain't God. God is your father. So, have you become a scarecrow? The only problem that the scarecrow needed was a brain.
That's all right.
And when you get truth, it's called brain food. Huh?
That's right.
When I started off, you believe you're a lion? The only thing the lion needed was some courage, right? When that man teach, man, he puts courage in you. And I beg God, give me Minister Farrakhan's spirit in Richmond today. He's not here to use me as his instrument and cause our people to feel his spirit. Because I'm growing to some lion and lioness.
Right.
Will you stand? Or have we become like the Tin Man? A lot of y'all doing the mannequin challenge. The Tin Man, the oil, the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right there, all you got to do is reach it. When you put on this teaching, boy, you walk proud again. So I ask you, how many of you believe what you heard to be the truth, want to learn more about the teachings and join on with the bold leadership of Minister Farrakhan? Stand up, stand up. In fact, all y'all should stand up. Don't make me come get you. Come on, black man and woman, stand up. Brothers, can we move this table? I want to shake their hand on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Moving all this stuff out of my way. Let me get to my people. Test it, test it. Sisters, if you all would come down. Come on home. Come on home. Can you unplug that? All right. Back that all the way up. Give them room.
That's right.
Sisters, come down. Stand right here next to me, please. Come on, all the sisters. Come on, right? Stand around and face your family. Come on, right over here. Got you. This turn right here. My sister. Come on home, sisters. Come on. Y'all should be clapping. Y'all should be clapping, man. They're coming on home. Come on, sister. Let that sister through. Brother, get out the way. The black woman is coming. No nation can rise any higher than this woman. Come on, sisters. Come on. Look, some of you may not want to come down, but you want to join on. If you don't want to come, but you want to join on, just stay in your seat and raise your hand. Where you at? Anybody else? Come on home. Let me tell you something. I don't want to go to heaven if there ain't no black women in it. If I get to heaven and if I don't see nothing but heaven, I'm jumping out. All right? Sisters, thank you for honoring us today with your presence. I pray to Almighty God that He has touched you in some way. And if I have said anything to offend you, please don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my head. I can always fix the way I say or do things, but I know how I love my people. I have been taught by a man who loves us unconditionally. There is a class that man, Master Farad Muhammad, set up for women only. And in that class, it don't teach you white femininity. We get away from that. We don't teach you what Oprah said. She ain't got no man. She don't know what. It is a class where women are called to close ranks with God. See? Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of His righteousness, then He'll add things to you. Once you and God becomes one, then God say to you, now let us make a man. See, you're not making a man now out of an insidious appetite of emotions. You are making him now because you know what happened to him. See, you know how to handle him when he come home. Even if he went out and tried and he only came back with 100, you know now it ain't no money. You just cheer him on. Make him think that 100 was 1,000. Boy, you got 100 dollars, boy. You're bad. Give me a kiss. Then when we go out and get another, what the hell you want me to do? But anyway, you just cheer him on. So that class is called the MGT. It's such a beautiful class. Every question you got, you can ask these sisters. No man can go in that class. That's what makes us tight. And we will give, there goes some more. Give them a hand as they come. Sister, what's your name? Cheyenne, let me shake your hand, Sister Cheyenne. It's an honor to meet you. Oh, thank you. Oh, and your name? Candace. It's an honor to meet you, Sister Candace. And your name? Latoni. Oh, Sister Latoni. You all, your smiles kept me going today, and I thank you. And who are you? Cece. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Sister Cece. And you are? Tiffany. It's an honor to meet you, Sister Tiffany. And who are you, Queen? Deja. Oh, look at that baby. Say, man, you know how long we've been waiting on you? 76 billion years, boy. You finally got here. Oh, look at my boy. That's right. That's Nat Turner right there. And you are? Tina. What an honor, Sister Tina. And you are, Queen? Sister Danielle. And you are? Crystal. Oh, look at Sister Crystal, that big old beautiful smile. And you are? Roshonda. Oh, who's going to handle these sisters? Who? You got them? You going to take good care of them? I'm going to charge you now. Sisters, if y'all would go with this sister right here, give them a hand as they go. Black men, look, I need every brother to come on. Come on up here. Come on up here, every one of y'all. Come on up here. Come on. Come on. Every brother. Come on. Don't make me come get you, brother. Don't make me come. Come on home, man. It's time, man. It's time for us to unite. Come on. Get in here. Get in here tight like we came over here. If you're already in, I don't need you. I'm talking about those who ain't yet joined. Come on home. Come on. All the FOI, you don't have to come. Come on, brother. Give room to all of those. Come on, soldier. How you doing, Chief? Boy, come on. Boy, I've been looking at you for a couple of hours, boy. Man, love you, boy. Big man, boy. Now, I appreciate you. For real. Man, you got me crying. If I had 20 like you, I'd slap the governor. Come on home, brother. How you doing, Chief? Oh, my brother, thank you. Come on. That's right. Come on home. Brother, come on. Brother, do me a favor, pick up that cup, please. Brother, is that everybody? Come on home, brother. Come on, get with it. Look at all these brothers. Look at this. Y'all ready? Look. You are the fruit of the tree of God. See, when the wisdom and knowledge of God is in you, that goes all the way to your seed. So everything you will produce from this day forward will be of God. And it's time for us to unite. This is the white man's worst nightmare. To see us together in unity. Because Islam brings out the militant propensity in the black man. I'm honored to be on the team with y'all. Now, ain't nothing funny about me that I need a hug. I'm out here on this battlefield dealing with these demons, man. They hate what I'm doing. What's your name, soldier? Terrence, give me a hug, boy. Honor to meet you, brother Terrence. Thank you, soldier. Honor. Stay right there. What's your name, dear brother? Jamal. Come on, man. Thank you, brother Jamal. Oh, brother, come on home, soldier. Lamont. Honor you, brother Lamont. Come on home, Lamont. Come on. I'm glad you're back. Come on, soldier. Big man, what's your name again? Brother Corey. Man, I appreciate you, brother. Oh, man, all good. We family now. Ain't no breaking us apart again. Let me get to this brother. Who's going to handle the brothers? All right. Give me some, boy. Brother James. Honored to meet you, Brother James. My honor. Is your name, sir? Brother Larry. Come on, Larry. It's all good. Man. Honor, man. My brother. Sir, your name? Brother Norman. I'm so honored to meet you, Brother Norman. And you are young brother? Brother Chris. Give me a hug, Brother Chris. Black man, we need to learn to hug again. What's up, soldier? Your name? Marlo. Your name, sir? Ty. Honored to meet you, brother Ty. Your name, soldier? Man, Big Tim, I saw you yesterday, soldier. You kept your word. Come on, brother. Your word is bond. And you are? Leon. Honored to meet you, brother Leon. And you are, sir? Another brother James. Honored to meet you, brother James. Oh, man, y'all got me messed up in Virginia. Oh, come on. Thank you, sir. Big man. Honored to meet you, brother George. Sorry, I'm sweating on you, but man, thank you, sir. Come on, elder. Honored to meet you. Come on, my brother. Well, you had me rocking on that first row. Love you, man. What's your name, Chief? WB. WB. Okay, honored to meet you. Who's gonna take these, brothers? Brother, if y'all will go with the brothers. Say, oh, youngster. Come on, man. What's up, blood? Man. How old are you, brother? You 13? Man, this is a good-looking brother, ain't it? Man, look at them beautiful dreadlocks. Huh? What's your name? Elijah. You know what those dreadlocks mean? It's a great but dreadful day. Great for us, but dreadful for those who put us in this condition. Man, and you 13 years old? I'm 15. Me and you gonna hang out, all right? Go on with them brothers right there, brother, with your red on. Boy, if you came out to LA, you'll be a blood. Come on, brothers, y'all follow. Come on, you've been initiated. Come on, right there, follow. Uncle Farrakhan wants you, don't? Come on. All right, before, anybody else? Anybody else? Come on home. Anybody else? Oh, brothers and sisters, what an honor to have come here. I hope I didn't keep you too long. I have to call the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and tell him of the great love and energy that I felt in this state. With your kind permission, in a few months, would it be okay if I came back? Good. We want to get a big venue, and God willing, I want to bring Bobby Kennedy, some of the scientists, a lot of the entertainers who are with us. We want to come back. Something special about Richmond. I want Snoop Dogg, T.I., I want them to see Jamestown, Virginia. I want them to see where the slave ships came. I want Russell Simmons. We need to bring Denzel. They need to stand on the rock that Denmark Vesey was pushed off. I stood on that rock. I said, I wish a crack of wood. Come on. I'm sorry. Let me get out of here for y'all right now. Love y'all, family. I'll see you later.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on now. We ain't never had it up in here like that. Real talk. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Student Minister Tony Muhammad. We ain't never did this before. Wow. Top beer. Top beer. Top beer. Have a seat. We're going to take care of some business real quick, and then we're going to have Brother Student Minister Tony wants to meet with all the registered brothers and sisters.